don't know if you've ever heard of, I think it's a TED Talk called the Squiggly Career.
I think I've heard of
Squiggly Career Path. Something I like, but it's, we're taught, hey, pick a career, stick with there, stay in a company ideally, work through your whole life, and that's how you become wealthy, right? And unfortunately, that's not the case for the most part. I'm not going to say that everybody has that same experience, right? Some people need that. Some people
know what to do with their investment.
Right.
Exactly. To start off with, invest wisely.
Correct. Okay. So I'm not going to say that this is the experience across the board. However, the Squiggly Career teaches you something similar to what you're referencing, right? Which is learn different skills in different jobs and different companies. Everything is going to be a block, a building block. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to learn your soft skills at a sales job or a food and beverage job or a job where you have to have that. As an emotional customer relationship you're going to build, your analytical skills on a job where you have to do more accounting, more bookkeeping, or, and so mixing those worlds is important, especially if you want to go into entrepreneurship, because I feel like as an entrepreneur, you always have to be a quote unquote salesperson. Or you also have to be a person who keeps track of their books, right? So all of these skills that you learn in different careers and different jobs, different companies are all important, right? And you don't necessarily get those when you're sticking to one job in one place for the rest of your life.
And I think we run into that, different plug for different book, but E-Myth, right? So many people.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Oh, it's amazing because, right, you're so good at this. Like, oh, you're amazing at making jewelry. You should have your own business. And you said, okay.
Yeah.
But look at what you had to go through. Could you imagine had you ascertained things from other places so you knew, did actually. You had worked several places and you were able to draw from that. Thank goodness.
But I think that's the part where we talk about the entrepreneurial journey. I think people hear about the struggle that others have gone through and they feel like they need to learn these things before they go into business for themselves.
Oh, what a good point.
And so the other side of that is, I'll tell you right now, is
Get started.
Don't worry about all the obstacles, because when you're faced with those obstacles,
You'll learn.
And typically there's a set of lists. So it's usually those lists that you list. There's a checklist of things that you have to
And David and his list. That's kind of place. I'll
give you an example. On my start of my journey, as I met someone in the farmer's market, and she said, hey, go ahead and you should really think about getting on this particular platform. But in order to get into this particular platform, there was a list of things I needed to provide for them. So when you're hit with these obstacles, typically there will be a list of items given to you that says, if you want to overcome this obstacle, do this, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the part where we talk about, you will continue to learn, right? The squiggly line that you're talking about.
Right.
You will continue to learn. But I think what stops a lot of people is they start thinking about the squiggly line before they actually even hit it.
I see what you mean.
So I'm going to tell you, forget about the squiggly line. Don't even worry about it. Just go. Just do it.
Oh, don't worry about getting the experience elsewhere.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
I see what you mean. No, that's not really valid point.
Don't worry about the experience. Prime example, where you're at right now. Someone were to tell you, this is all the stuff you need to learn in order to be in the position you're in right now. Would you do it?
No.
Would you have left your career, gone on to Northwest Mutual, do everything that you say that you do? If everyone told you, in order for you to get to where you're at right now, would you have done it?
Did you kind of jump in and learn as you go?
I knew I had to jump in and learn as I went. And the thing is that before I started my practice, I had the opportunity to start this practice 3 years ago, and I didn't. And the way that I ended up making the decision to move into the practice is because I took a job within the company and I saw everything for the back end. And then eventually I was like, oh, you know what? This is really cool. I can do level, right? Correct. But if I would have started 3 years ago, or when I would have been exactly, now I have 3 more years to catch up. You know what I mean? And to be to where I was, because I got to see people who started, say, for example, 3 years ago in my position that I was offered then. And they're thriving right now. They're crushing it. They're doing great. They're making a difference, And so, not saying that I'm not, but it's, if I had taken the risk, like you're saying, and I hadn't thought about it that way, and I'm glad that you bring up that point, who knows? I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
And that's where, we talk about goal setting is a huge thing that I address, is that the end goal is right there. But if you think of how many moving parts it takes for you to make the step. So say my end goal is just to touch that wall. Do you know how many different muscles I have to move and how many joints I have to move?
Especially with the table and the cords and the leg and all that.
Just to get to a wall, you might stop yourself from doing it.
Yeah.
I have to
I'll
start
never go
making.
hungry
Yeah,
again.
I don't want to be in the position of trying to figure out, do we keep the lights on or do we keep water? You know?
Oh my goodness.
And so I never wanted to be in that position again. And so just really saying, okay, what can I do differently now to position myself later to not have to be here again? And then actively taking those steps, because that's the other thing. Acknowledgement is great. Action is better. And